There are two ways by which terminals or stations connect to another. One is through point-to-point link and the other is through broadcast channel. In point-to-point, each station occupies each end of the link and data may flow one or two ways. In broadcast channel, many stations share the communication medium. We shall discuss here the four category technique in accessing channel by competing stations. First is the fixed assignment. In a fixed assignment, channels are allocated in a static fashion which does not depend on the activity of the stations. In FDMA, a user is assigned a specific channel. In TDMA, a user is assigned a specific time slot, and they cannot transmit as if it is not yet their time. And then the third scheme is the CDMA. The CDMA is sometimes called as the spread spectrum. This is due to the unlimited or both frequency and time slot when transmitting. One example of CDMA is frequency hopping. Each station has its own frequency hopping pattern as determined by the binary code. Thus, each station has its own code sequence and identify the hopping pattern. Major advantage of CDMA is immunity to interference or jamming since it is not confined to a single frequency band. The second technique is a random access technique. In computer communication, most data traffic is characterized by bursting, meaning the amount of packet coming from user uses a channel randomly, sometimes infrequently. There are problems when using FDMA TDMA. In FDMA, bandwidth becomes wasted when not in use, and TDMA synchronization is required. To resolve these issues, there are random access schemes which are developed. Like the Aloha, in 1970, the University of Hawaii developed a packet switching broadcast network utilization using network utilizing a radio channel. And this main purpose is to provide cheap access to one or more sharing systems to a large number of users. The simplest of this kind is Pure Aloha. Pure Aloha allows a terminal to transmit packet and at any time there is a packet to be sent. A central station will reply with an acknowledgement when the packets are good. When two stations transmit at the same frequency at the same time, a collision happens. The resulting data is garbled if not destroyed. To avoid collision, another packet must be sent during the vulnerable period. The vulnerable period is twice the time frame to send the packet. So the maximum throughput of pure Aloha is 0.184 or the channel utilization is 18%. In a slotted Aloha, one researcher named Roberts proposed in dividing the Aloha time into discrete intervals, called slots. A station must wait at the beginning of slot before it can transmit. This resulted to half the contention interval of vulnerable time, thus doubling the maximum throughput to 36.8. Imagine a law is like a classroom where the students do not hear each other. Imagine the chaos in the classroom whenever they want to tell the teacher something. So to resolve the chaos in random access technique, to resolve this chaos in random access technique, CSMA is developed. CSMA is a carrier sense multiple access. Um, this is in this is a technique wherein all stations can hear a sense carrier channel before it transmits. If the channel is busy and used by another station, it should refrain from transmitting. There are two CSMA protocols, the non-persistent and the persistent. The algorithm of non-persistent is that when the channel sense is idle, it transmits a packet. Now, if the channel sense is busy, the station schedules a retransmission delay. It repeats this algorithm until the channel is idle when listened to. This does not watch the channel closely. So in a P-persistent, the algorithm is this way. If the channel sends idle, it transmits the packet with probability P. If the channel sends busy, the terminal waits and immediately transmits the packet when the channel becomes idle with probability P. This is sometimes called the greedy algorithm. The third technique is a demand assignment technique. Demand assignment allocates the channel based on explicit demands by the station. Under this technique, there are two groups, one which requires a central control and the other which is which has distributed control. In central control, this user uses a central controller which allocates the channel to the requesting stations. Those which require central control are the polling systems and circuit-oriented system. So in polling system, a central controller pulls each stations on the network by one, requesting the poll terminal to transmit. If no reply or negative reply is sent to the central control, it means nothing to send. Otherwise, the station starts transmitting. In a circuit-oriented system, this uses FDMA or TDMA subchannels that are based on demand by the central controller. So in distributed control, there is reservation Aloha round-robin scheme or and the FIFO reservation scheme. In the reservation aloha, the channel usage is divided into time slots. So the time slot is organized into groups. A user who has successfully accessed a slot in a group will be guaranteed access on the same slot. Then groups have equal sizes and duration must be greater than the propagation delay. Colliding stations must prevent using the same slot the next time. This is a mix of TDMA and Aloha. A round-robin reservation scheme, it's like TDMA, but unused slots are assigned to active stations. If there are more slots than the stations, extra slots must be fought over by the stations. If the slot has no frame to transmit, it leaves the slot empty. In the next group, the idle slot becomes available to other stations to compete in a lower scheme. So a station can take back its slots by retransmitting a frame intentionally and creating a collision. After the collision, the owner can get back the slot in the next group. This is also a mix of TDMA and Aloha. In a 5-4 reservation scheme, the channel is divided into two slots, data and reservation slot. The data is used on reservation basis, and reservation slot is divided into V small slots, which are used for transmission of reservation packets. So next is the mixed strategies. Mixed strategies are usually used in packet satellite channel or reservation upon collision. This is a mixture of several methods that are adapted to the varying demand. We should focus on the two commercially successful LAN standards. Those are IEEE 802.3, which is a CSMA CD, and IEEE 802.5, which is called on token ring. So in 802.3, it allows a number of independent computers to communicate with each other. So they are confined in a moderate geographic area like a single building, a warehouse, or a small campus. They have moderate to high data rate, which is 10 to 100 Mbps, with consistently low rate. The network is usually owned by a single organization. So the standard started with Aloha research in 1960s. Later, carrier sensing data was added to improve throughput. Then Xerox built the Ethernet. It is an experimental local computer network with 100 nodes along with a kilometer of coaxial cable running at a data rate of 3 Mbps. So late in the 19th century, physicists discovered that electromagnetic radiation can propagate in the vacuum. In the 1980s, Xerox tagged along industry giants like DEC and Intel to push the release of the standard Ethernet 1.0 that was based on 10 Mbps data rate network. In 1982, Ethernet 2.0 was released with the three proponents and the IEEE enhancements. In 1985, IEEE 802.3 was released with some differences with the Internet. So 802.3 is based on one persistent CSMA CD LAN. The algorithm is if the channel senses idle, it transmits the packet. If the channel senses it's busy, the terminal waits until the channel goes idle and then immediately transmits the packet. If a collision is detected while transmitting, it aborts the data transmissions and sends a short jamming signal to make sure all stations know that the collision occurred. Then it will cease transmission. After transmitting the jamming signal, the station performs the binary exponential backoff algorithm to determine when it will attempt to transmit again. However, in binary exponential backoff algorithm, it can result in a last in, first out unfairness. This effect is experienced when the station that experienced no or few collision gets the chance to transmit earlier than the stations who waited longer. So IEEE 802.5 is a token ring. It is the most popular medium access method which uses the ring topology. The token ring it's also the oldest ring control which dates back to 1969 and is also known as the New Hall ring. In listening mode, the ring interface copies the input into the output with a delay of 1 bit time. In transmit mode, the ring interface breaks the connection between the input and the output, enabling the station to enter its data into the ring and remove the data after it has circled the ring. In bypass mode, this is the state of the ring wherein the interface is powered down, thus enabling the data that comes through without delay. So the token ring circulates the nodes if the transmission has to transmit the data. It takes a token and inverts a single bit, signifying the token ring has been captured. Only the intended receiver will receive the data and return it back to the ring with an updated as an acknowledgement. After the sender receives acknowledgement, it will take the frame from the ring and put the token back into the next station to use. So when in error, the source station wasn't able to take the frame, the active monitor station will be able to detect the frame as circulated twice. It will take it down and put a new token into the ring. The data link layer is concerned with pushing frames from one intermediate node to the next, and the network layer is concerned with moving packets from the source up to the destination, choosing the most appropriate path possible. When the source and destination are in different networks, network layer will handle these differences. So on network layer services, the transport layer, then the services may be connection-oriented service or connectionless service. So the network is torn between the telephone companies who believe the subnet should provide a connection-oriented service, while the internet community regards the subnet as reliable and therefore connectionless service with minimal task must be minimal task given to the subnet. So a routing algorithm finds its best path for every datagram in a connectionless service. So in a non-adaptive assigned routes in a static manner, that means the route has been pre-computed already. In adaptive, those are which base their decision based on the current traffic and topology. A router is a device that routes and the packets and executes the routing algorithm. So there's several routing algorithm, and this is path selected based on the router-to-router distance, channel cost, number of hops, transmission time. So there are several routing algorithms that is used, which is sample or Dijkstra and distance vector routing. Now let's go to internetworking. So interconnecting two or more network involves several issues that must be considered to form a network-to-network or internetwork. So there are various devices used for this. One is repeater, the bridge, and the router. So Internet Protocol has several functions to provide basic unit for data transfer, provide addressing, and unique identifier of the station in the network, facilitate routing, and perform fragmentation. So IP is a connectionless service, which means it does not establish connection between the source and the destination before sending a data. It just encapsulates the data and delivers the packet. Error recovery is done by the upper layer protocols. So in addressing, there are 32 bits. So in 32 bits in a class A, the first digit is 0, while the network address is comprised of 7 bits and the host address spans to 3 bytes. It allows up to 126 networks or 16 million hosts. So in the class B, the first digit is a 1 and the second digit is a 0. The network address has 14 bits and the net host address is 16 bits. It allows up to 16,000 plus networks and 64K hosts per network. So in a class C, it has more than 2 million networks and up to 254 hosts per network. So some address combinations, all zeros is used by a host. This is for boot up and never used afterward. So the address 255.255.255.255, this is used for limited broadcast. So routers use this address to update other routers in a network number count. So host address of all ones, this is broadcast. This is the broadcast IP, and when the network address is all zeros, it pertains to the host of the network. So subnet. So subnetting is a technique in using portions of the host address in IP address to serve as an extension of the network address portion. APNIC, which is Asia Pacific Network Information Center, is responsible in distributing IP address. Subnet mask is when the host address is all zeros and the rest are all ones. For a given IP address, perform an AND operation on the subnet mask to get the subnet network address of a given host. Almost all TCP/IP networks use subnetting. Subnetting allows us to have efficient use of IP addresses.